be self-realized. I believe that they are also aware, they are also aware. So maybe exactly what's the difference between animal and man regarding this aspect?
Now, the question is, can you enlighten an animal? That's one of the questions. Why, you have a pet or you're talking about yourself? No, is it a pet that you love very much or you… If you say so. If you say so, how can we deny it if you say so? Man is not just an animal. If he loses his awareness, he can be worse than an animal, isn't it? Not just an animal, he can be much worse than an animal, isn't it so? But if he becomes aware, he can become more beautiful than a god. Both are right here for him. What he makes of himself is also his choice, isn't it? Yes? This moment, whether you behave like an animal or not, is it not your choice? It definitely is. So if you're right now in an animal state, can we enlighten you? I think what you need is not enlightenment, what you need is evolution. Yes. Isn't it? If you're behaving like an animal, what you need is evolution, not enlightenment, isn't it? Because what you call as enlightenment is a peak that a human being can attain. It is a peak of humanity. When I say humanity, do not think in terms of love, compassion, this, that. It's much more than that. It's the very peak that a human being can attain to. So if still animal nature has not gone out of you, first you have to work on your evolution before you work upon enlightenment, isn't it? If you're talking about taking your pet with you like Dharmaraya did, you know Dharmaraya took his dog with him? Dog lovers have been active for a long time, see. Dharmaraya is not a dog lover, it's just that he has indiscriminate compassion, that's all. And compassion is always indiscriminate. If there is discrimination, then it is not compassion. If there is discrimination, it's called passion. Passion is focused in a particular direction. When there is an all-inclusive passion, you call it compassion. Compassion is not kindness. Compassion is not behaving in a particular way. It is just that your passion has become indiscriminate. You're passionate about everything, not any particular thing. You're just passionate about anything and everything that is there around you. If you breathe, you breathe passionately. If your heart beats, you beat passionately. If you eat passionately. Whatever you do with absolute passion. Now you're compassionate. Nothing escapes the focus of your passion, then you're compassionate. If you're compassionate, can you enlighten an animal? There have been rare events like that in the world. Generally, it is not possible. But when an animal is of a certain composure, sometimes it has happened. You've heard of Ramana Maharshi? Ramana gave mukti to a crow and a cow. In the Indian way of life, a snake, a crow and a cow are considered important because in the evolutionary scale of the body, a monkey is very close to you. But in the evolutionary process of the inner being, a snake and a cow and a crow are very close to you. This is the reason when you make the offerings for the dead, you always make it to either the crow or the cow. Snake, you don't want to handle. And a snake won't come looking for your food, he doesn't care for your food. What you have to offer, your vada and paisam, he's not interested. So you choose these other two. So we also said, you're not supposed to kill a cow or a crow or a snake. If you happen to kill, you must give it a proper funeral. Do you know this? We give a proper funeral to a snake in this country. If a snake dies, people give a proper funeral to it. Are you aware of this? Because a snake is very close in the evolutionary process of the inner being. And these three animals, one bird, one reptile and one mammal, are the three creatures who have emotions very similar to that of a human being. I don't know, these days living in Mumbai, you might have not been in touch with them, but people have very deep relationship with cows, do you know, in this country? It's not just a milking animal, people have a very deep relationship. And if you go through any pain, if you have a cow in your house, it sheds tears for you. Do you know this? A cow actually sheds tears for something that you are going through. If you go sit with a cow very sad and talk to him about your problems, a cow actually sheds tears. And because in terms of energy, a snake is very close to the way your body reverberates. If you have no issues about it, if you go in the wild, any other animal in the wild, if you try to touch it, it will always repel. Snake is one animal. If you know how to pick it up, you can simply pick it up like this, it will come with you. There was a time when I used to have 20-25 snakes all over my bedroom. They are everywhere. You just have to not disturb them. But if I am sleeping many times, they want the blanket too. They're all in and everywhere. If you make one wrong move, they will bite you. But they're very comfortable with the way your system is reverberating because their system reverberates the same way. This is one of the reasons why the snake is used as a symbolism for Kundalini, because it's very similar to your own energies. There is a deep sense of perception in these things. Today you can just dismiss it off, okay, you're snake worshippers, cow worshippers, nonsense. It is not about worship, it is about recognizing the qualities that are there in the nature. In the yogic lore and in the yogic culture, a snake has been used in many different ways for one's own growth. You won't see a single temple without a snake, is it so? Somewhere in the temple there is a carving of a snake because it's an important step in one's evolutionary process of the inner being. In the evolutionary process of the body, maybe a orangutan or a chimp or a monkey may be important, but in the evolutionary process of the being, a snake plays a very important step. It is an important shift from one level of life to another, so it is always recognized as such. So such things have happened, but they're very, very rare. And that particular animal has a certain background, otherwise it cannot be done. But there are so many human beings who need to be raised. Right now we are not going to take the task of liberating animals. There are too many human beings who need it, isn't it? Maybe when all human beings get enlightened, we can go searching for that particular animal which has the capability to grow. But generally, it is not possible. In general, we can say a clear no to it. There are a few exceptions where it could be done.